Good afternoon and welcome to this presentation on FEMA recoupment. Thank you for being here and taking control of this process. The purpose of this presentation is to help understand a portion of the disaster relief and what it means when you are asked by FEMA for money back. Because essentially that is what FEMA recoupment is. It is FEMA has paid out money to a victim of disaster relief and is now, for a various reason, asking that money be returned. There's several reasons why FEMA might pursue recoupment. It could be that right after the storm, FEMA will often pay out money to victims of a natural disaster prior to determining fully eligibility or paying out before insurance has come through. And if a client is later determined to be ineligible or if insurance money comes through, then FEMA will seek to get that money returned to it. The way that the first time anyone typically ever hears about recoupment is when they receive a notice of debt letter in the mail. And a notice of debt letter is essentially FEMA's version of a collection notice. This will always come directly from FEMA. FEMA will, at least not initially, use collection agencies or other third parties to do this. The letter will come from FEMA and it will state a couple things in that letter. It will say how much money is owed, and it will say the reason that FEMA believes there was an overpayment and that this is warranted. And again, that reason could be something along the lines of a lack of eligibility or that they found out about an insurance payout. This letter, it is important to know that FEMA will send this letter to the last known address. And so especially if you have moved since the disaster and maybe we're receiving mail from FEMA at a different address but are no longer there, you want to make sure that FEMA has your updated address so that when or if this letter is sent, that you get it. And part of the reason it's so important to make sure that you get this letter and deal with it promptly is that if you want to appeal the decision, if you want to explain and make your case that what FEMA is trying to do and get this money back is wrong, then there's a hard deadline of 60 days. Once you get the notice of debt letter, this collection notice, you have 60 days to respond to it. And that response is actually fairly simple. To appeal a decision to FEMA, initially anyway, requires that you prove your identity, that you are indeed the person who is supposed to be making this argument or is the possessor of this money or the money was sent to. And then really it requires you to write out why it was correct that FEMA gave you this money in the first place and documentation that shows what you used it for and why this disaster relief money is due to you. Additionally, say FEMA's reason for seeking recoupment was because of a lack of eligibility, you want to address that in your appeal decision. Or if FEMA's reason for seeking the money back was an insurance payout, you want to address why perhaps that insurance went to a different part of the home or damage due to a different storm or why the two kind of buckets of money were for different things and why a recoupment action therefore would be improper. You can absolutely write this letter yourself and send it back to FEMA. But just know if you receive a letter like this, feel free to contact legal aid. we have a team of attorneys and paralegals and social workers who all we do is disaster relief. And we specialize in dealing with FEMA. So I encourage you, I hope that you know you can appeal the decision yourself, but also know that legal aid is here to provide that assistance. Now, if FEMA ends up denying that appeal, that you've made your case of why the money should not be returned to FEMA, and they end up making a decision that's against that, there is a final option. And that final option is called a debt waiver. What a debt waiver is FEMA saying, yes, the money given was not exactly proper, but we agree that it would be unfair to have the money returned to the agency. And so really what this is FEMA should have known better. We would be making the case, or if you're seeking a debt waiver, you'd be making the case that it was really FEMA's mistake in paying out the money in the first place, providing the funds maybe before they had done everything they needed to verify eligibility. And now it has been so long, it would be unfair for FEMA to seek collection on money that was used for recovery from the storm. A key timeline, just like how you have to respond to the notice of debt letter within 60 days, another key date for this debt waiver is 3 years. If it has been less than 3 years since you received the payment from FEMA, this debt waiver is still an option. So that is the nuts and bolts of FEMA recoupment, when FEMA is looking to get money back, and what to do, what you can do directly to appeal that decision and try and change their minds. And then we also talked about a way to have that debt waived by arguing it would be unfair with a debt waiver. Again, all these things you can absolutely do yourself in your interactions, but just know that that if you have questions about your case or you want help writing that letter or pursuing a debt waiver, encourage you to contact legal aid. The contact information is available. You can go to our website and learn more. And I hope that this has been useful, and I encourage you to talk to legal aid about your specific issue. Thank you so much.